Welcome everyone to my UBC Met ePortfolio. I'm Scott Harkness and I would like to take you on a guided tour of this culminating project. Throughout the program I made numerous websites to showcase the learning objectives in each course. Luckily, in ETEC 510, I learned that the design of a platform for exhibiting my learning should be aesthetically pleasing, functional, and also reflective. I took that advice into consideration when designing my ePortfolio. I also tried to keep the overall layout simple so the quality of the reflection would be highlighted and not hidden within too many images or overwhelming text. Since the goal was to demonstrate my growth as an educator through this program, I thought the learning garden was an appropriate metaphor for the ePortfolio. Plant biology is a big part of my life as that's what I studied during my undergraduate degree at UBC, but I also enjoy nurturing my garden at home. The metaphor of planting, nurturing, and harvesting the garden will be analogous to the knowledge and learning throughout the MET program. The core courses provided the base knowledge just like plants need basic components to survive. The knowledge gained during the elective courses maximize the learning just like there's other factors that can be applied to maximize plant growth and yield. And finally, ETEC 590 represents the farmer's market and the chance for me to exhibit the fruits of my labor. Using the metaphor, it allowed me the opportunity to reflect back on what I learned in each course, and I was able to consider how the courses and project helped me get closer to meeting my learning goals. I used Weebly.com to create this website, as for me it is easiest to use and allowed me to focus more on the reflection of learning. In building the website, it gave me the opportunity to go back to each course and consider how each of them are interconnected. I feel constructivism learning has been the underlying theory for my MET journey, and so it is fitting that it has been the guiding theory for the creation of my ePortfolio. I learned a lot about myself through the construction of this ePortfolio and how each of the courses contributed to shaping of my philosophy of education. So now for the tour of this ePortfolio, I started with my home page, which allows me just to give a brief little introduction and who this ePortfolio was meant for. It also allowed me to state the goals of the MET program. Specifically, I wanted to increase my understanding of not just the theories, but the research that are supporting those theories and how they can be applied to my teaching practice. In addition, I wanted to find some new strategies in order to implement technology into the classroom, but also build a toolkit that I can use in order to implement the learning theory and apply it in the classroom. The article highlights the 4 criteria of constructivism learning, specifically that the learner needs to have its prior knowledge elicited, they need to have cognitive dissonance, they need to apply the information that they have just learned, and then they have to be able to reflect on the learning that they have just created. So the next one we're going to look at is the garden, and then this just gives a little bit more background into why I chose the metaphor of a garden for learning. And as I already outlined, it breaks down the core courses that provide the initial nutrients and components that the plant needs, but also the elective courses and how they're going to be contributing to the overall learning process in this program. So in terms of the essentials, as I call them, these are the 4 core courses that every MET student needs to take. So I'd just like to highlight one of the core courses before moving on to the rest of the website, and that was the ETEC 511, the Foundations of Educational Technology. I found this one beneficial as we were able to investigate a lot of the things that we felt fairly passionate about, and one of them was on the phenomenology of gaming, and specifically Fortnite. A lot of our students seem to be infatuated with this game. We wanted to look into why. So it was quite interesting to see what were some of the aspects of the game that were truly a phenomenon and how we could relate that to education. The other one that I looked into was the phenomenology of virtual reality. This was a spin-off of one of the concepts that we looked into in the Summer Institute of Education 490V, where we looked at virtual reality and the educational affordances of it in education. But one of the big downsides of virtual reality technology is just the high cost. So I proposed in this project to use 360 video cameras instead, which still have the educational affordances of true VR, but at a fraction of the price. So the next thing I'd like to show you is the electives that I chose, and I called these ones increasing yield. So I'm going to go to that website or that page. I really enjoyed the autonomy that we had with the ability to choose our elective courses, and the ones that I chose, I'm very happy I did so. I took the constructivism course, mobile learning, virtual reality 490V, and then 533. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight the 490V for two reasons. One reason why I want to exhibit Education 490V is because it wasn't one of the courses that I would have initially thought would have spoken to me in terms of education, and thought of it more as a novelty. But now I saw, and using 360 video as the affordable alternative to virtual reality, and the educational affordances come with it, the ability to create an experience that would otherwise not be achievable for some of our students. The other reason why I really enjoyed this course, it was my only chance to do face-to-face and meet some of the students that I've been working so closely with online, but being able to sit down and have conversations about education was truly rewarding as well. And then the final thing I'd like to show you is the quality assessment here. The farmer, when they are harvesting their crop, are going to be looking to make sure that what they are going to be getting out is what they expected, and anything that doesn't quite line up, they're not going to use. So as a result, I have created an assessment of this ePortfolio that outlines what I was hoping to present. So if you have time and you would like to go through, I would appreciate any feedback. And then there's also going to be my resume. So my background in terms of education and what I did in terms of my teaching, and then also a list of references at the bottom can be accessed if you contact me, just so I don't have all their information up on the web. And then finally, this is just a list of my references. This is the literature that I use the most and feel that is the most important and reflective of my teaching philosophy. And now that brings us back to the Learning Garden. So this was my journey in the MET program, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I ended up getting a lot more out of it than I could ever expected, learning about the learning theories and the research that backs it up, but also being able to connect with other educators in the field. So thank you for going through the guided tour, and I hope you enjoy my ePortfolio.